It is that time again. I'm John Zidar. This is On Top and Hot. And today is Tuesday. It's May 13th. Now, in most of my videos, what I like to do is share a hot penny stock with you. I'm a day trader, and I primarily trade stocks under $5. And I see a bunch of them through the day, and I'm always looking for a hot one to share with you so that we can both make some money. Now, on Tuesdays, I like to bring you over here to Pennybois Discord. This is where I do my trading every single day from bell to bell. 9:30 to 4 o'clock, I'm trading with the public. Now, we got pages for swing trading, we got pages for crypto, we got pages for all sorts of stuff. My page is for scalping, and we are opened up to the public. We got a link down below. It says this is the Pennybois link. Click that. That'll take you to Discord. If you haven't got an account, don't worry about it. Give them an email. Choose a username and a password. You've got an account just like that. They'll automatically direct you over to our Discord. Over here on the left-hand side is the menu. Find Stock Wizard's trading page. Hit the momentum page. Click it, and that's where we're at. Now, we trade all kinds of stocks over here. Penny stocks, blue chip stocks, halted stocks, and we're getting all these hot charts from lots of people, not just me. Now, we've got a smorgasbord of information over here, as you can imagine. We are playing hot stocks all through the day. That's virtually 8 hours. And I can't share it all with you folks, but I can share something. Now, most of the stocks we play pop and drop, and there's really not much left over to look at. But I do have one I want to share with you. Now, before I jump into that, I've got an announcement. Pennybois has a seminar in Chicago coming up the second week of June. I believe it's 9th, 10th, and the 11th. I will be going, which means I won't be making any videos. I won't be putting out any news. I won't be here. So I'm not dead. I didn't get sick. I didn't quit. I'm just at a seminar learning as much as I can, because the more you know, the more you're going to grow. And I'm interested in growing. So the stock I want to share with you today is HUMA, ticker HUMA. They had two pieces of news today. One is about a collaboration. The other one is about their financials, which just came out this morning. The stock started to climb yesterday in anticipation. When the financials came out, she shot up, and we've had a nice run, and I think she's going to continue to run because this is the first revenues they've generated in years. They have contracts now for some of their products, which we're going to talk about, and they have steady revenues now coming in. So that's the primary reason we are looking at this. It is still pushing up right now. So let's get some information on HUMA, ticker HUMA. This is Humacyte Inc., based out of North Carolina. She finished today at $1.72, and she was up 30.30% today, which is a bounce of 40 cents. This is a hot penny stock on the NASDAQ, which means you don't have to pay for any of your transactions. Buying and selling your shares is free, not like the OTC. There's a lot more money and volume up on the major exchange, not like the OTC. You get to trade these pre-market, aftermarket. Can't do that with OTC. And one of the most important things, there's a lot more rules up on the major exchange for the companies to abide by, which just keeps our investments safe. So let's get some information about this company. I've jumped on over here to StockTitan.com. They've got a lot more information than I was able to find in the description over there. So they tell us that Humacyte is a clinical stage biotechnology company focused on developing a disruptive platform to create universally implantable bioengineered human tissues and organ systems. The company is dedicated to transforming vascular surgery and regenerative medicine by engineering a cellular tissues that can be used in a wide array of medical applications. What we're basically talking about here are artificial arteries, blood veins, This makes it not only easier, but safer for the patients. A lot of times when they needed an artery, they would go harvest it from some other place in the person's body and then transplant it. Well, now they've got this artificial tissue, which the body does not reject, and it comes in any length you want in all these different diameters. Humacyte has engineered its product to be off-the-shelf solutions addressing critical needs in emergency vascular repair. This initiative approach contrasts with conventional methods that involves, as I said, harvesting from the individual themselves, which can lead to additional complications in time-sensitive situations. The company's bioengineered tissues provide a consistent and ready available alternative, reducing the operative time and potential risks associated with the traditional procedures. Right now, the Department of Defense is very interested in these products. As you can imagine, they have a lot of arteries that get destroyed out on the battlefield. The company is in advanced stages of clinical research with multiple product candidates undergoing late-stage clinical trials across several vascular applications. They do have ATVE, which we're going to take a look at here, which is coming out of phase 3. They have another product which all works with arteries. That's what all of their stuff is for. These are going to be for heart surgery. So let's take a look at the news. So we've got two pieces of news over here that we need to consider. We've got the HUMA announces fourth quarter and year-end 2024 financial results and provides business update. Now this was back in March. They didn't give us any numbers here, but the fact of the matter is they weren't making any revenues yet. The revenues just came in, but there is information in here that I can share with you. The company received U.S. FDA approval of Symvess, that is their artificial arteries, for the treatment of extremity vascular trauma. They commenced market launch and first commercial sales of their product. They are also filing a IND for a new drug in 2025 to support first in-human clinical study of small diameter ATEV for coronary artery bypass grafting. The other piece of news is basically the same thing. It's another financial and a business update, but this one gives us numbers. As I said, the company's just marketed and launched their first commercial sale of their product. Total revenues was just over $500,000 for the quarter. They completed a public offering, raising $46 million in net proceeds. So not only are they making revenues, but they just had a public offering for $46 million, which means our outstanding share count just went way up. They also implemented cost reduction to extend cash runway. Good for them. Let's take a look now at the relative volume for the company. Look at that, folks. We've done more than 300% relative volume increase. She was doing roughly 4.5 million shares every day for the last 30 days. Today, we just hit 15 million shares. Share structure for HUMA. Outstanding share count. I don't know if this has been updated yet, folks. March 2025. When did that news come out? I think that news came out. Yeah, so we may not have gotten those shares over here yet, so our outstanding share count could be a lot higher. I have not done a deep dive. Right now it says we're at 155 million. That's if they didn't add $46 million worth of more shares. And I'm getting the feeling that many shares means there's a lot more there. So I'm not going to have a clue what the float is right now, folks. Taking a look at the financials for the company. Well, we've got nothing here, at least not for the last few years, and there's nothing over the last year. Absolutely nothing. And they say they just made $517,000 in the last quarter. Coming from zero, that is a huge jump. And this is going to be regular. They say that these products are being sold right now to 46 different hospitals. And that is increasing exponentially. It's increasing very, very quickly. Taking a look at the balance sheet for the company. We got money in the bank, about $45 million. Total assets, about $137 million. Total liabilities is $190. Egads. So we are holding stockholder deficit here, a nice chunk, about $52 million. Now, as an investor, I wouldn't be happy with that. But as a day trader, somebody who's getting into a stock and getting out of it that day, taking his gains, I really am not worried about it. Taking a look at the disclosures, We've got an 8K here. I'm going to presume this has to do with the news that just came out. No, it sure doesn't. Press release. Yeah, it does. The financials. All right, so that is the press release. Then we've got a EFA 14A. Oh, we've got a shareholder meeting. Let's see what they're voting on. A new board of directors. Let's see. Increase the authorized share count from 250 million up to 350 million. Not liking that. And what about this 8K? This goes back a month. Recent attacks. This is a news press. Looks like one of their competitors has been bad-mouthing the company, bringing lawsuits against them, but it appears that this other company has already brought 12 lawsuits against them, and none of them going anywhere. So it looks like we don't have to worry about that either. So that's what we got going now. Now there is that one piece of news we have not taken a look at. This one here. The company announces research collaboration with Treso Bio. They have an FDA approval received for their ATEV technology. They are in their third phase right now, which is the longest phase. That means it's taken a few years to get to this point. It gets approved, that's another product that they'll have available to sell. Addresses massive market of 800 million chronic kidney disease patients. Strategic partnership combines complementary technologies. So there you go. They're working with kidney disease, they're working with heart surgery, they're working with any arteries anywhere in the body that get destroyed. Those can be replaced. So there's a lot of things that their products can be used for, a lot more it looks like they're going to be used for in the future. So we could be looking at this at a very good time. They just started bringing in revenues right now. This is the very first day they reported them, and the stock has been climbing ever since yesterday. And I think we can get some more out of it. Let's go take a look at the chart and see. Y'all ready to rock and roll? I've got HUMA all locked and loaded and ready to go. We're over here at my free trading platform, Think or Swim. Got her opened up to a 1-day, 1-year chart. It was back in May of last year. We had our 52-week high of $9.97. And just about a month ago, we hit our 52-week low of $1.15. Right now, we're at roughly $1.75. Now, we had a lot of volatility a year ago when she was well over the 200 and the 200 was rising. She was jumping from about $4.50 up to $10, and she did that a couple of times. But then over the next few months, she was in a downtrend coming back down to the 200. Now, you would presume since the 200 is rising, she's just going to hit it and bounce off it and start to climb again. Well, not really, because all of the other MAs are falling. And when you add up the strength of the 200 haul, the 50 MA and the 20 MA, they're a lot stronger than just the 200 MA. So it did force the price underneath a rising 200. Now right here, she decided to jump to and through that 200 with a lot of fervor. She went from $3.60 up to virtually $6.80. Now I'm sure most people thought this wasn't just a recovery, this was going to be the breakout, considering that the 200 is still rising. It wasn't. It tricked us all. It came right back down under the 200, all the way back down to the 9, and then did it again, running back up to the 200, which is still climbing. A perfect opportunity to break out, but it doesn't want to take it. Instead, it wants to reject it hard, falling from roughly $5.50 down to that $1.15. Over the next month, she really didn't do anything except for today. Today, she's jumped, getting over top of the 20 and settling on top of the 200 haul. We got volume in the picture today. Our ADX is starting to get hot. Our MACD is climbing. Our RSI is rising and up there at 56 right now. So our yearly chart is starting to warm up. Take a look at our 6-month 4-hour view. So 6 months ago, we had a high of $7.48. And as you can see, she's been in a strong downtrend all this time, though she does like to break through it a lot as it's falling. But right here, when she's on top of a flat 200, has been falling here and she's bouncing, looking like she wants to climb, finally has an opportunity and says no. Doggone it. Here we're at $4.50, falling down to that $1.12. Now down here, it's an entirely different situation. We've got ourselves a 200 squeeze happening right now. Our low bubble, it's underneath every single thing here. She gets on top of the 200 haul. You can see the bars are getting big. Quite excited about this. Riding that 9-day MA up over top of the 50. She rode that for about 10 days and then dipped down to the 200 haul, which I'm not worried about. I actually look for this. The 200 haul is the friendly 200. Both 200s have the same strength, same power. Both take 200 periods, add them all up, and then average them together. But the 200 haul does one thing different than the 200 MA. It takes into consideration the price. It relates to the price, so it's actually friendly to it. And that's why when you see the 200 haul underneath the price, when it turns up, you will normally see a nice burst of energy come into the price and it start to run. And that's what makes the 200 squeeze work. What we've got right here, folks, is a falling 200 MA. Here's our 200 haul. It was purple right there, and then it turned blue right there and started to rise. At that point is where she jumped, folks. She's going flat. She got over the 200. She got on top of the 50. Now notice how small the bars are here, and then you get a big bar. Look right underneath that big bar. Boink! It just started to come up, the 200 haul. Then you get a second big bar going to and through the 200. Another bar to and through the 200. Here's the third bar after hours to and through the 200. Folks, this is why I like 200 squeezes. They are my favorite bullish pattern by a long shot because in my opinion they work 8 out of 10 times. And normally when she gets up over the 200, she will have to take a break. Took a lot of energy to run to it and get through it. So it'll normally come back down, and if it doesn't bounce on the 200 itself, it'll normally bounce on the next MA under the 200. Oscillators are all starting to get hot. Our RSI is clear up there at 77. Our MACD is climbing with green bars. Our ADX can't get much hotter. Both the yellow line and the green line are at the very top. And our PPO is rising. Everything looks super duper good on the 4-hour chart. Take a look at our 20-day 1-hour view. So I've got 3 supports here. Take these in mind. We've got the one we're sitting on right now at $1.71. We've got the one we could fall to. This is at $1.48. And then our first target we're shooting for is $1.97. So basically we got a 25-cent run there to the first target. Do I have a second target up there? I do. A second target up there at $2.37. And a third target is at $2.68. Now as you can see, she has been going sideways, cleaving to that 200-day MA. Then the 200 started to bow down a little. So the price bowed down a lot. Came down to the low bubble, bounced up, got on top of the 50, laid on that 50 until when? Until the 200 haul turned blue and started to climb. And what happened? We got ourselves a 200 squeeze in motion. Once she got on the 50 and the 200 turned blue, she went to and through the 200. And what did I say normally happens? Once she breaks through the 200, she'll come back down either to the 200 or to the first MA underneath it. There you go, 9-day MA. She tagged that and took off. And look at that run, folks. She jumped here from $1.35 up to $1.80. That's a huge run. So you basically got 2 plays here. Once you see this turn blue, I like to enter right here and ride this up over the 200 and then sell. Take that gain. Then wait for the dip down to the 200 or the first MA under it. When she gets up over top of the 200 again, I'm in it again and I take this. And then you start taking your targets. Start using your supports and resistances. This is running, folks. She's floating on that 9-day MA. We had a pullback to the 9. After hours, she is continuing to climb. I told you, this looks like she has something left over to give us. Lots of volume in the picture today, and all of our oscillators are pushing up and looking hot on our hourly chart. Take a look at our 5-day, 15-minute. Oh, that's a beautiful chart, folks. Look at this. Rolled down and right up. She was underneath everything here, hit this low bubble, and bounced off of it virtually immediately. Now, there are shoppers out there. They look for 52-week low bubbles. When they find one, the first thing they do is they go to the company's fundamentals and see if they can find value. If they find value, you will normally see a quick jump off of that low bubble and then a climb. And that's what it looks like we got here. She hit that low bubble. She put herself up underneath that 200, jumped hard to get on top of the 200, fell back down to it, bounced off of it, and she's ripping and running. Now, it looks like she is paying heed to the 20-day MA for the most part. We see a tag right there with her little peg. She came down and broke down to the 50 here, but you can see she's laying on the 20 right there. Then she started floating on her rise on that 9-day MA. She hit a high bubble. That's normally a sell sign for me. Came down to the 20, rode the 20 up, and now she's starting to climb again. Folks, this looks like it is ready to continue. You need to put HUMA on your watch list for tomorrow, folks. She's got a lot of things she's doing. She's making money off of her first product that is out there. They got a second product coming out of phase 3. They've got another product that they are introducing as a new product. There's a lot of information I couldn't get to, folks. So please do some more due diligence. You know I didn't cover everything. Remember, folks, the more you know, the more you're going to grow. See ya.